Welcome back to the Connect Network TV. So, as you plan your Easter dinner with family and friends, don't be afraid to pile up on the veggies and the protein. Certified holistic nutritionist Kelly Bluth is here to tell us why. Welcome to the show,
Hi,
Kelly.
ladies. Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you here. Well, this is perfect timing. Having you here on a holiday weekend, no better time than right now. So, before we get into the typical Easter menu, we want to hear more about your journey because you were able to heal yourself from lifelong gut issues after the doctors just couldn't seem to help. So, what was going on? Fill us in a little bit about what was going on in your life at the time.
Yeah, so I'll try to make a long story a little bit shorter, but to your point, I dealt with lifelong gut issues. It got to the point when the pandemic hit that I decided, you know what? Enough is enough. Like, I'm going to doctors, they're telling me I'm quote unquote fine, and I'm just not feeling that way. So I took matters into my own hands and I decided to go back to school and pursue a certification in holistic nutrition. And through that, I decided I'm going to heal myself, and then I'm going to be able to use that to help other women do the same.
And in your podcast, Listening to Your Gut, where you help listeners do just that, this is so good and straight to the point. What is our gut telling us? And tell us, how do we listen to it?
So, yeah, it really focuses on both the literal and the figurative meaning of that phrase. So, the literal really focuses on, what is your body telling you? What are those bodily cues that you're tapping into that maybe tell you that you are feeling the excess bloating or the brain fog or the fatigue? And the other part of the podcast really focuses on the figurative, right? So, the intuitive knowing of like who you are and really, what your purpose is. So it's a great melding, blending of both that figurative and literal, which we can use both of those together to support healing our gut.
Right now, you're sharing your story and speaking on stages all over the world. So I want to tell you congratulations on that. But two questions I have for you. One is, what do you find is the most common issue when it comes to gut health? And also, what are some of these signs? Like, maybe there are some women that are listening right now and they're hearing you say bloating or gut health, or like know when to ask questions. Like, again, two-part question, but how do we know? And then also, what are some of the most common issues that you have seen when it comes to gut health?
Yeah, great question. So for me, the big red flag for myself, like I said earlier on, was the bloating, right? Just constant bloating. And I quite honestly, that's what I hear from a lot of the women that I work with, a lot of the women that I speak with is, this bloating. It's almost this thing that nobody wants to talk about, but everybody's dealing with, right? So that's one of the biggest things that I hear women talk about and makes them really uncomfortable, and rightly so. But I mean, there are a whole host of issues. There are a whole host of symptoms that can present themselves early on and throughout, the process of things getting worse. Things like skin rashes, right? You may have a histamine reaction and that causes you to itch and be, more susceptible to certain high histamine foods that could present that rash or that itch. There's also things such as brain fog and fatigue that women experience. And all of that is related to the fact that your gut is not working optimally. And so it's, we've got that gut brain connection.
Well, that's really great to know, because God knows, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to question things. So I'm definitely going to look into these gut issues. More importantly, tell us what's on the dinner menu for tomorrow. What are we cooking?
Yeah, so for me, we'll definitely be having ham. We'll be having a variety of salads, fresh fruit and vegetables. And, I always like to be able to experience and enjoy lots of different types of foods. I am the nutritionist, the holistic nutritionist, that's not going to tell you to avoid certain things because that deprivation is going to cause you to want it more, but to just really be conscious of what it is that you're eating and how you feel after eating it. If you're going to a gathering, I would say, bring something is going to be beneficial for you that you can share with other people so that you feel more comfortable going into that setting. And again, you don't feel like you're depriving yourself of anything.
Now, you offer so many opportunities to grow and learn from one on one coaching to workshops. Talk about some of the different offerings you have and how our viewers can find you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for allowing me to share that. So, there are a lot of different ways that women can work with me. I specifically work with women because I know the woman's body very well. I am one, of course, so I specifically focus on working with women, and they can do that with me in a lot of different ways. I have one-on-one options where women can work with me from anywhere from a month to 6 months at a time. I also have a group course in which women can learn in that way if that's better for them. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can definitely check out my Instagram, which is Kelly_Bluth. And through that, you can find my link to my website, which lists all of the opportunities that you can work with me.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, Kelly. I know that we're all going to be learning a lot from you, and you guys can check out all the different programs that Kelly has. So, coming up next, we learn all about the Girls of Legacy Scholarship and Mentoring Program with Rebecca Contreras right after the break. Don't go anywhere.